Okay. All right. All the stuff. Oh, there's Chuck. Good afternoon. I apologize if you can hear me typing. Still working on that issue. Hey, Cher over there on YouTube. Good to see you. Gonna do a quick like, share, and follow for myself here. Bear with. Okay, there we go. Okie dokie. So, my name is Doug. I'm one of the training moderators here with American Dream Trading. This is a public outreach broadcast for futures training specifically. And what we're going to be talking about here today in general is the futures market. So, quick legal, everything that we do here at American Dream Trading is for educational purposes only. None of us here at ADT are licensed tax, financial, or investment advisors. So, please do not copy trade or attempt to copy trade anything that you may see here on the screen. If I do decide to jump into a trade, you are on a delay, so it will not be in real time. Again, this is for educational purposes only. So with that, ask away, get your questions coming along, and we'll do our best to get them answered. Right now, what we're looking at is micro NASDAQ. We had a really nice bounce off of 24,835 here to the upside. And I was discussing with one of our members what our overall trend was that we needed to break through and hold. And that is what we're struggling with right now. This yellow dotted line is the mean of the overall move from top to bottom that we're watching at close proximity, because if we can break and hold above this, then our recovery on MNQ will continue to the upside. If not, then we'll likely sit around and chop either here or break down and find support elsewhere. This is a very key area that we've been watching on this last bounce. Thank you for everyone joining over there on the TikTok. If you could please tap those screens, like, share, and follow. And here we go, pull off of that area. So what we're going to look for here, there we go, there's a response. Right in through here at 24,864 is where I'd be looking for support to start. So over here on our L2, what we're looking for is to see whether or not 864 shows up with any length or any number of contracts. Right now, we haven't gotten quite that far, and we are progressing to the upside. So very nice response here. Next candle will tell the real story on whether or not it's going to continue down and how far into this area that has just been created right here. So if this is going to, sellers are still in strong control, then we should see this push down, make a new low, and then tackle this 24,850 level or this double bottom of the trend channel here. Buyers are going to get interested and keep price here, and they like the price. Then what they'll do is they'll prevent the further decline of the price, and they'll push this right back up. Now, right away in our way is 24,898 to the upside, which is right where the 55 and the 21 of the trend channel are. This is a tough spot for this. We can't maintain height here, then we're going to seek further support. Seeing 870s now on the bottom of the L2 here, 870s, that's going to want to pull it down. There's some 869s, 866s, so this is definitely wanting to pull down a little bit further. $64 there. Thoughts on ETH? You can take a look at ETH, yeah. Hey, Jerry, good to see you. Now, are we going to break that micro double bottom, or are we going to continue? Oh. Oh. If we get a good candle closure up here just underneath the 55, and the next candle starts on the shoulder of the previous, we could possibly see a good move at this level here at 890. Looking for strength up here at the 920 or 955. And if we see any weakness, then this might just be a recheck of the 9 and 55 to continue to pull to the downside. Candle closure here, 890. That's a good candle closure there. So see how much breathe back we get. Now moving up. Nice. Strong candle move up. Now we have to break this trend again to the upside. Hey, Wade over there in TikTok, thanks very much for your support. Good to see everybody over there. All right, now you can see that we're getting stuck at the baseline or base of this trend line here, which is also the middle of the trend channel. We've got some level of resistance right here from this drop in price. So this spot, tricky for us to break and hold. A good strong candle close here and another strong move. Hi, Silver. My name's Doug. See, got some interest to bring it up. 918s, I saw 919s. '20s. You can see the resistance that we have. All right. So we're getting stuck here. This might just be a doji. We might get our next candle to move up through, or we might get a rejection. So we've got 1 second here. This candle will tell a story on where we're short term here. So if you got in on the bounce and you are protected, you can now start to use these key levels and how these candles are forming along with an L2 to see whether or not the movement's going to the upside. You guys have any questions on that? Let us know in the chats and we'll go through it. All right, let's go take a look at ETH. Ethereum. Now we do have Ethereum futures in the futures group, so I'll look at the actual USD Ethereum. What is it you want to know about it? What are you looking for? Brian, let me know what you'd like to see. All right, well, first of all, let's see where we've been. Crypto market's kind of mixed today. Ethereum's down in the interim. Daily here. Couple of oh, that already. Okay. Picture that. So we've been on a steady decline in Ethereum for the last several days. Looks quite a while, actually. Small breathe backs, but in general, down from its high. We are on a major level here, double bottom. Now, how it responds down here will tell us the real story of what if it's going to continue to break down. What would be here? Now, these may look close on the daily, but once you get them into a lower time frame, start. Okay. So currently we're in a pretty heavy downtrend. Now, if we turn on Coach's indicators, you can see that we're currently outside of the trend for the daily. So not only are we on a major double bottom here, but we're also at the bottom of the trend channel, and we've got room to come up and recheck on the 9 here. Now, I'm not sure what the average. See, $181 is the ATR on ETH. So what would that look like? So to make that move up to the 9 from where it is on a recheck bounce and a continuation down, or some kind of check on a previous level, that's pretty close to the daily ATR. You could probably do that in one day. So I'd be looking for some level of a response at this level that we're at now, which is 2114, 2115, and see if we get a response to the upside, because it's well within daily's candle range based on the ATR right now to get pretty close to the 9. So. No, I can't do any predictions for you. I can just tell you where levels could be. We're at the double bottom right now at 2114.96, call it 2115. And then I just snapped a couple of next levels down just based on the structure here on the 1 day. Again, they're going to be miles apart when down to the lower time frame. So if you're to look at this on the 2-minute, we broke below that that low and came right back out of it. So we didn't spend very much time here when we broke that double bottom, but we are still technically on the double bottom. So we could continue up. I can tell you that from our last high to this low, we're right smack in the median of this move. So this price action through 2147, call it 2148, is going to be very important to stay above. Otherwise, it could just reverse and then come back down. Start looking at 2072. Yeah, 2072.50 basically. So what happens in here right now? We need a break and hold in this area, a continuation to the upside. Otherwise, we could see the sellers take back control and pull this right back down because we are still technically downtrend overall. Current trend right now on the 2-minute is to the upside only because of this move off of the bottom of the trend channel. Hope that helps. Absolutely. Get back over to it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. 7:30. First hit I see on VWAP was at 7:30 EST. Now I'm in EST. What time zone are you? Okay. So here's the 1-minute. Now we had a 10 o'clock. Oh, that's because Weeble's going to be in Central Time Zone unless you change it. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. Depends on what your intention is. Mm. Okay. So let me ask you this. You got stopped out right around 12:20ish, right? 12:10, right in here, basically. Right in here. Because you moved your stop up to just to here, right? So in an EWO, if it breaks and holds below the 21, especially when the 55 is this close, that's a good sign of an exit, right? But if you have a runner, depending on where your buy position is, like if you got in down here off the bounce of the 200 underneath VWAP, and you caught this move to the upside and you're protected by VWAP, well, then as price continues in the upward direction, VWAP is going to continue in the direction, right? So technically speaking, when you protect your trade for fees or a small profit, and you have an upward trending day where VWAP can also trend upward with it, your safety line, which is now VWAP, continues to go higher, higher, higher. So you could set an alert that if price came down to VWAP, it would let you know, or came close to VWAP, it would let you know, right? So you didn't have to sit here and watch it all day long. Or, if you're in a strong position like this and VWAP is trending up, you just let it go until it breaks VWAP. Now, the real question is, how much profitability do you want to give up from the ultimate top to where VWAP might be at that time? That's a question you have to answer yourself. But if it's just the runner and you've already captured profitability on the way up on the pullbacks, if you're doing the EWO management of it, then this one down here is a free trade and basically the icing on the cake, right? So it mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Okay. Now, the best part about that is if you were watching that trade, I mean, that wasn't too far away from where you would want to exit anyway manually, to be honest with you, right? Because you look at this up here and you've got the 921 cross and you've got the 9 crossing the 55, and right behind that, the 21 crossing the 55. This thing is going down, baby. You know what I mean? So where you got stopped out wasn't really that far away from where you could have gotten out because this thing dropped so quickly. Now, the other thing that you could have done is wait for this to find its legs again, right? And then gotten into another long right off that bounce. And then rinse and repeat and do it all over again. Right, but at this point you're already out of the trade because you're stopped out. Right? So now you can sit and be patient because at some point, based on for a reentry, based on everything you know about these bottoms, somewhere in this area, we're likely to find some level of support, right? And VWAP being where it was at the time, that's a great opportunity, especially with this double bottom right here, to look for a re-entry bounce to the upside. So when you're in an upward trending market, my favorite trade to look for is these deep retracements down to hard support and catching these bounces. My ultimate favorites. Love them. Hmm. Same for me. Yep. Hmm. Hmm. Yep. Yeah, and again, it really depends on where your buy position is too, right? You know, if you got into a super strong position here off of the 200 and your trade is protected, you know, for whatever it is that you want to try and get out of it, say you put it right below VWAP uh, right away, then again, you could have sat through this knowing that VWAP could be the bounce. Because if this is your runner, this is the free one. And, you know, maybe you go for a drive and you totally miss this entire scenario. And you come back and you're like, oh my gosh, I actually held through all of that. You'd be surprised, you know, because look at where it is now. It's still climbing. You know, this is the line that keeps moving around. So it could still be making profit for you, even though you had such a deep retracement where it found support. So that's kind of the whole idea of the runner is it you just let it run unless, you know, it breaks VWAP and then now the trend is really changing. But you know, the hard part about that is if you're only in with one contract and you're trying to sit through all of that, yeah, well, that makes it tough, right? All right, Bobby, have a good day. So yeah, yeah, you good. Good questions. All right, let's see where we're at here. Tyler over there on TikTok. Good to see you. Thank you for posting those. Appreciate that. All right. Natural gas is what we were just talking about there. You bet. AMD, I can check AMD. YouTube cannot hear the Zoom. Could TikTok hear the Zoom at all? That's probably going to do the trick, right? Okay. Cool, man. I'm good to hear that, Retro. Thanks very much for that. Got AMD. You want to take a look at AMD? Look at MYT over on YouTube. What did you want to look at for AMD? Any thoughts on it? Good time to buy the dip? Well, I cannot tell you when to buy or sell. I'm not a licensed taxed investment or financial advisor. So all I can do is help you out with a little bit of technical analysis. Looks like I did trade or chart this once before. We are down here at a very critical level, though. I will tell you that. Your lowest low at 194.31. Then you've got next low at 197.48, and where you are currently after creating the low at 199. So if it looks like you really need to stay above 200. But this was a pretty heavy sell-off in the way that this happened so quickly. I mean, just looking at the daily candle, I mean, what a heck of a gap down right out of the gate. Right back down to support. So, yeah, this looks like we have to hold 200. So I'd be watching very carefully down here to see what kind of response we get in AMD. The rate at which it came down tells me that this thing might not be done. 86. Yeah, 186.69. Tricky. There. All the way down to the 200, which would be at 177.90. So, you know, if this thing doesn't find support anywhere in here, between, see, 194.36 and 279, then these are the next natural levels that you would be looking at to try and find support. You think it's a bit of an overreaction to not beating earnings? Could be. Could be. I don't know. The next session will tell us a great deal more. That's for sure. We are starting to slow down. If you look at the hourly, you can see that the candles are getting progressively smaller and smaller and smaller as we enter that support area. So, and this hour's candle, which was just gray at me opening this, has now turned green. So this will depend greatly on what happens, let's see, in the next hour, I think. Here's the 15-minute. And again, you can see how this is slowing down. Okay, so we've actually come down and we're rounding over. We've got a little bit of a heel going on here, the arch, and then the toe, right? So this is kind of the boot formation that we talk about when we see it. So if this continues to happen, what you're going to want to see is the 9 is going to curl up in the direction of the upward momentum. So we've made our low. We came up, retested a key level. This was a double top, broke down, double bottom bounce, and here's our return to the upside to tackle this 4-hour high again. So this could be an area where you could see a turnaround. And not to put too fine a point on it, but that range that I was talking about is what you need to hold above. Oh, it beat everything in earnings. Okay. I don't actually watch stocks, so I wouldn't know. But from what I can see here, the slowing of the pace of the descent, you could be looking at a at a turnaround. Definitely got to get up and make a new 4-hour high or break it. I think, what are we in it now? Yeah, we got an hour and 20 left. So it needs to make new 4-hour high, preferably up here near VWAP, which is at 206.96. And I don't know, in a daily range, 5-minute candles $1.20 a piece. Good, but it's going to have to get some volume to get there. Here's the 2-minute look at it. Trend is still down, but we are now not making lower lows, not making a ton of higher highs either yet. There's a fair amount of resistance up here. So once we break out of that resistance, if we can do that at that channel, it'd be 203.34 to the upside. Then I think you'd see some freer movement. But right now, there's a lot of resistance here. Zoom not coming through. Yeah, I changed my sound settings. Hopefully that'll fix it. Thanks for that, Jerry. I appreciate that. Yeah. Also, the markets reacted, I thought, quite aggressively to the new pick for the Fed chair. I think that had something to do with it too. Hmm. Got to be careful. We always say don't trade with a bias. Hard not to form one when you've got this just huge influx of information coming. So I tend to stick to the technicals first and then listen to the scuttlebutt and everything. I write the newsletters for the VIP Gold and the Futures group. So when I'm perusing articles, I usually pick up on a few things in that respect, but I still break everything down to the technical. I find more comfort in it. All right, Topher, have a good one. Oh, yeah, good question. All right. Anything moving for all that? TY's on a recovery bounce. That's yeah, yeah, 100%, man. You know, being in a stronger position off of a real good either top rejection, you know, major key level coming up to like the daily high or something like that. You get a good size rejection off of that. If you're in a super strong position there, you can let that runner run. You could even sit through all of this mess right here. Okay. You can sit through all of it. Why? Because VWAP's way up here. And if your entry position is way up here and you're protected, you've got major levels all the way down protecting you, right? I think. Mm-hmm. Yep. I am on NQ. How about that? Here we go. Right here. Mm-hmm. Right. Mm. Right. Mm-hmm. Does. So so yeah, here's the 2 minute here's a 2 minute EWO on the entry that he was on. Okay, and he waited for the break and hold. So he got in just a little bit early of the signal, but in doing so, okay, in doing so, he made it a lot easier on himself rather than getting in at the EWO, because where's the red line? The red line is it? It must be the bottom of the trend channel right now. Okay, so if I pull this back to where we're talking about, which is indicators will pop in here. Okay, so we've got an uptrend EWO signal to the upside, right? All the indicators are underneath us. It's like how this is hallelujah time, right? I mean, this is what you're asking for. The only problem that I see here is this blasted middle of the trend channel. Because all too often I see this thing act like major resistance. Well, the reason being is that there's usually some level of structure back here that's keeping things down, right? Now, if we turn all this stuff off, where we can just see, okay, so the EWO entry being here, we didn't break and hold this top, right? So that level is going to be a major level of resistance for us, and that's where we rejected from. Now, if you're freaking out on this EWO entry, right, and you didn't get in on the double bottom bounce that you really wanted to get in on, right, because that was the choice entry right down here, right? Because as soon as that you get clearance above that structure, stop, protected, now you don't have anything to worry about. Right? So double bottom bounce entry. With a tighter stop. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. The intention is the intention is to catch the momentum, right? And once you've got the momentum, depending on the next couple of candles, will tell you how strong that move is going to be, right? So a double bottom bounce, if you've got a good strong double bottom or a good strong support level like we do here, and you get a nice resounding candle out of that, you can get in on that candle, ride it up, see the next one make its move up into the key level that you're going to be watching like a hawk because you've already charted it, right? And at that point, if you see any weakness up there, you can start shaving off things, right? And at that point, because you're in way down here and you protected your trade below a key level, it doesn't matter if this thing comes back down here, checks in on the key level, because you're protected, right? And if it comes down and stops you out, then it is what it is, because you collected like you should have at these key levels up here, right? But if you're getting into the EWO, where does the EWO tell you to get in? On this candle. Okay, but we haven't cleared this level yet. So being this high up in a move off of a double bottom, when I know that I'm starting to run into double top wicks, and a relatively strong double top move here. I want to see this candle break and hold above this. Okay. Come up here, challenge this level, bring it back down, and then I'll take the bounce from there. Yes. Because this, they were. Mm-hmm. Now, mm-hmm. Yep.
To let those runners run.
Okay. Okay, well, I can hear the desktop audio, so it should be sharing out to the YouTube. So let me know if it's not, please. Should probably fix it.
You just got an echo.
All right, so now I can hear me.
That reverb's trippy, dude.
How about now? How about now? Did I get it taken care of over on YouTube? Can you hear Marshall? Jerry, did you hear Marshall at all over on YouTube? He was gone. Okay, how about now? Go ahead,
Mic
Marshall.
check. Mic check.
No, can't hear him. How about on TikTok? Can you hear Marshall?
Mic check.
Oh, there he is, he says. One more time for me, Marshall.
Mic check.
Nothing on. We'll work on that later. YouTube can hear you now. Go with that. All right. So, back to this one. So the EW entry, you know, depending on the size of your account and whether or not you're doing,
Yeah,
yes,
smaller contract size.
yep,
I
smaller
guess for like
contract sizes.
you're like simulating trading though, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's really the sweet spot is coach's recommendation of 5.
Mm-hmm. Yep, 5
'Cause
or
you just
6.
really, yeah,
Yep.
you just
Because
get the mental muscle memory
yeah,
of how it flows.
yep. Because once you get to 6, now you're looking at, all right, well, how much am I paying in fees for 6 micros, right?
Right.
And you might as well trade a mini at that point because it's the same in fees. Well,
Yeah, but then you would only be 1 mini though, right?
then you've only got 1 mini. Exactly right.
Yeah,
So
yeah. So I guess I'm only simulating trading. So from a practice standpoint, I don't know if Topher was doing simulated or if it was money, but there is a difference
there is.
because you're tied into the trade differently.
Mm-hmm.
And
Now,
the videos that coaches, it's like he doesn't always come out and say it's specifically the amount of contracts,
no.
but he does try and state mentally how it should be traded. So
Mm-hmm.
like if you can't get there with real money, that's a tough thing to trade 1 or 2 contracts and let it run,
Yep.
because you're always a little antsy on the trigger finger, especially with
Correct.
what you're going to probably go through is that there was a quick pullback in the beginning, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So even though we had a rejection because we're watching these key levels, even though this did turn negative on us a little bit, if we're sized appropriately and we have the appropriate size stop, our entry can still be protected, or our stop is going to be down here below this lowest low. So if you understand anything about market structure, you can sit through this a little bit easier, because as long as it finds support here, this is my mental stop now, $3.416. Why is that? Well, I've got all of these bodies and wicks hanging around this level right here. Okay. And this is recent history. If I pull this back, I'm sure I've got other reasons for this to be there, right? However far back it goes. So I had this line on here for some time. I don't even know when I snapped it, but it seems to be acting very appropriate in this particular scenario. So finding support off of this key level, right, didn't eat up into even half of our overall stop that we've already accepted when entering the trade. Okay, that's very, very important. You've already accepted the fact that this is the risk, this is what I'm dealing with. I have to let the trade breathe and figure itself out. So in this particular case, we did come down. We did find support here, right? We got our bounce. We broke this key level to the upside. Now, the next thing I'm going to be looking at very specifically is for resistance, not only this quasi high here, but back here, this actual wick right here. Because I've got body closure along the top line and I have the low on the bottom line. So as you'll watch this price action come up into this range, you can see that we're tapping into the mean and then pulling out, tapping into the low, mean again, okay? So this is an important level to watch when you're in an EWO, and what is that doing along with the indicators. Okay. So here's the 9. We watched the 9 very closely in our EWO entries. At this point, you could have protected your trade for fees or whatever. So say your trade entry is here. I'll make this yellow. I'll make it green. Dot it so we can see it. Okay, that's my trade entry. So I can protect. Okay, once I get far enough away, and you want to make sure that you're paying attention to your ATR and making sure that you're breaking key levels and holding above them. So once you break and hold above a key level, you can bring your stop up and actually protect your trade, because now you have a level of protection right here, okay, that you can now monitor as a mental stop. With me so far, Marshall?
Yes.
Okay. So now we've got our trade running. I'm seeing weakness. I'm not completely out of it until right there, which is where we really didn't want to be in it anymore anyway. Why? Because the 920 cross here. And the reason for that is because we were in a what I would consider not very strong position, or a higher position than being in a position of strength down here on the double bottom bounce. Because protected down here, as we play this out, we were just fine. Right?
Yeah, I think you were talking to him too. Like that would have been a perfectly fine re-entry point
Absolutely.
when after that second green EWO came back up. That's been me personally. That was always after this week a tough. I would say a point of frustration where I got out, where you're saying to get out, and then it turns back around
Mm-hmm.
and it goes back up. And the struggle in my head and what I've journaled is the well, I should have stayed in it. But there are cases where you really shouldn't have stayed in it.
Mm-hmm.
I think you have to have such a high early entry to stay in the ones that go close to VWAP. Like that, if he entered, or if anyone entered at that candle we discussed,
Mm-hmm.
you're probably like a 10%.
Right.
You're giving back more profit staying in it at that point, I guess, right? Like that's the, if he was to stay, if he had his stop loss at VWAP, that's your dotted line there, correct?
Yep.
Yeah. If he had it just below there and then it went back up, he would have been golden. Or you get out and you just get back in.
I know what that is. Hold on. That should do it. Sorry, Marshall. Please continue.
That's all right. That was it. I was done.
So yeah, position strength. Very, very important. You know, your entry is the key to profitability, and how long you hold a trade depends on your entry position.
100%.
Hey, Doug, yeah, I got a question whenever you're ready.
Lay it on me, brother.
On a regular stock where they have pre-market and the market and the daily and different. So what futures, tell me the best way, because it doesn't have like it opens at a certain time. So tell me, how do you, what's the best way that you mark out your charts, the levels?
Love those questions.
Yeah. Why?
I'm a right
Like,
now
really?
charter.
Oh,
So,
so you don't look at your levels at all?
well, the indicators do
just-
it all for me. I'm lazy.
Oh, I don't see, again, I don't have that in Tradeovate. You never get, because I don't have the other.
Oh my goodness! Don't chart in Tradeovate.
Yeah, I have been, and that's not been great.
No, that's why we link to TradingView and just do it there.
Yeah.
Are you linking? Do you trade in TradingView? Linked?
No, I don't. Doug, you never taught me how to do that.
Oh my gosh! Really?
You mentioned it, but we never followed through. And it's
Rude.
also another charge. What is it, like $11
No,
a month or
it's
something?
it's free with your Tradeovate account.
Okay, so you're
Should
gonna
be
have
free.
to, when you get a chance, you're gonna have to show me how. And then how do I get the coaches things?
The indicators, you should already have access to
Yes.
them. Do you use TradingView at all?
No,
Oh, you don't. Oh,
no. Everything I'm doing has been Tradeovate, which is
Okay.
very sloppy.
well, I can show you in Tradeovate. That's fine. So, let's see. Let's look. What do you like to trade? Are you an ES guy?
No, I'm actually right now. I've been just again. Haven't gone live yet, but
Mhm.
I'm just been trading um uh, micro gold and silver
Mm-hmm.
right now. I mean, I have messed with ES and different other things, but mainly gold. I guess the commodities. And what else? Like last night, I did a little NQ. But like I said, because as you know, I usually go by levels because I don't have any help. Because I'm just going back by eye and looking, and I click the levels as we trading, but I don't have coaches. Well, no.
Okay. Well, you can do all of this in Tradeovate. It's just, you don't get the line. You don't get horizontal lines that go all the way across the screens.
Yeah, see, I like that. I like the trend lines that you have. So I
Mm-hmm.
don't get. I have to mark. I have to do my own. So
So 4 hour looks like that's not a standard one. Oh,
so what is on coaches
um,
chart settings? What is he using?
what do you mean?
Like he already has it marked. Like you have it's already marked there. You see the angle? You have the
Yeah.
green and the red, right?
Yeah, that's
Is
the
that
trend channel.
Coaches?
Yep.
That's coach's thing. I don't have
Yep.
that. So
You need to get
how
Trading
did-
View.
All right. So I have to do that.
Yeah.
But I still don't know how to. But I still have to execute the trades at a Tradeovate, not at a Trading View, right?
No, I'm linked to my account right now. I'm in my Tradeovate account right now. So executing a trade is just as easy as opening up your trade window. You know, if you want to do it through here, if you know how to use
I
it.
don't normally do it like that though. I normally do it on the chart. I trade on the chart up and down.
Oh, that's
and
fine.
the stop
You,
and everything.
you can do that too. So you right click and drop a limit.
No, I
Right.
don't do that.
So here's a buy
Actually,
limit I
guys,
can
been
drop.
on a upside Evo. Sorry, the call out there.
Which
I
one is?
do, I tap.
The Russell.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't right click. I just click the chart and it has the buy,
Well, yeah,
sell.
on Tradeovate when you're doing this,
Right, that.
yeah,
So why can't I? Can I still do that if I have the other
yeah, it's
trading
just
view?
all you're doing is right clicking. You're dropping a limit order here. This is not a market order, right? You know that.
Right. Yes.
Okay, so if you're waiting to get picked up at a certain level to ride however many ticks that you're looking for, or to a certain
Right.
level, whatever, you're placing what you're doing there is placing a limit order at a certain level to get picked up.
Right. Or I'll go on the top and I'll hit the market in and out.
There you go. Okay, so
Right.
in trading view, it's really not that different. It's just
Okay.
that instead of left clicking on the screen, you're right clicking on the screen, and I can drop my limit order right here. So if it comes down, this is a buy limit. If it comes down and checks in VWAP, it'll pick me up for the upward move.
Okay.
Okay. The
All right,
other,
so when I I'll
if
have to
you're
go home
if you're
and
above price, you can drop a limit sell. Okay. And when it comes up, you'll now be in a sell order. Okay. Waiting in the clouds. So the limit buy order in this case would be waiting in the weeds. Right?
Mhm. I thought we did that one day with the trading view, so I don't know. I have to look at it
Mm-hmm.
when I get home. Whenever you get time, maybe to. I don't want to take up all the time. You know,
But yeah, I trade directly into my Tradeovate account through TradingView,
okay,
almost exclusively,
okay.
because I have access. I've got coaches indicators right here. I have much better
So how do I?
tools to use.
Right. So how do I know when I do that? How do I get coaches tools?
When
You
when you
know.
have your TradingView account, make a ticket, and then I'll lead you
Yeah.
through it.
Okay. Great.
Okay.
All right. We'll do that when I get home and do it. So I've been trading pretty blind lately, and I'm a pilot, so flying in the clouds. You know what I'm saying? I have
Mm-hmm.
weather.
Yep.
And somebody's looking for the ground. Do you see the ground? Do you see the ground? Yeah. Okay. Land. Land. All right, my friend. We'll do it. We'll do it.
All right.
So I can't trade much though. Right now they got me down to $215. So I mean I could do micro gold.
Yeah.
What else can I trade? Just all the
Pretty
micros.
much micro anything
Okay.
aside from micro silver, because micro silver is 500.
Right. They
But
wouldn't let me do that. Okay. I saw that.
Nasdaq is 100 on each micro, and all of the other micros. I think gold is 100. No, 50.
Mhm.
Gold is 50. Um, yeah, most of them are 50.
Okay.
Or 100.
What
If
about
it's
the micro ES is what?
that's $50.
Okay. Gotcha. Thank you, sir. All right. I'll
Yeah,
look
you
at it
got
when
it.
I get home. Appreciate that.
Bet. Let's see. Trent, you got your hand up.
Yes. Hey, of course, I'm trying to get all of this stuff. Hold on just a second. Let me. All right, I'm trying to get all this stuff squared away and set up and whatnot.
Uh-huh.
And we were talking about the coaches indicators the other day on TradingView. I cannot remember the answer though. Do we have to have a paid subscription for TradingView?
At least the $14.99 one to use all three of them. Otherwise, the free trading view will only allow you two indicators
Okay,
on your chart.
because here, let me take a screenshot of what mine is looking like. And if anybody wants to take a look at my account number and fund it for me, feel free.
Yeah, right there. everyone
Yeah,
see?
but it keeps saying runtime error, but it doesn't give me the whole code. If you see that at the very end of what you call it,
Yep.
right there. Yep. But and I've been all throughout these settings and whatnot for like the last hour, and I just cannot get it to work.
Okay.
So
And are you on the paid subscription of it, of
I
TradingView?
was, but it just freaking ended, and I don't have any money in my bank account. So
Okay. Do a ticket. Let's have Bruno take a peek at it,
okay,
because if it's not updating, then I'm curious as to why that would be.
yeah. And you remember two days ago, I think, or maybe it was yesterday. Remember I had two of these and two volumes, and I just deleted the second one and the second volume as well.
Hmm.
But yeah, like I said, I can't get nothing to work. So, all right, let me open a ticket for this. Let's move on to my next problem per se. This trade of eight. I sent $50 over to this account.
Okay.
That's essentially the last $50 I had in my bank, and it's not here. Does it take like 24 hours to actually settle
Depending on how you actually transferred it, yes.
with a debit
More like
card?
3 or 4 days. And when I transferred mine over, it took several days.
Oh man,
Yeah.
okay. Okay. All right. Well, I'll just throttle back on that then. I won't call them and bug them and whatnot. But
Hmm.
let me.
Mine took a week.
Golly.
Yep.
Oh yeah. And whenever I went to link Trading View and Tradeovate, it wouldn't let me link it. But I got an email saying somebody was trying to log in. Like, well, yeah, it was me, but it won't connect them.
Hmm. Well,
I feel like a day one rookie right now.
let's see. The ACH is typically 3 days. The debit card, I think, is 3 days. It's actually ACH might be up to 5. Debit card's the fastest way.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's what I did, but there's no record of it here in Tradeovate. Like like not even a pending transaction. It says absolutely nothing.
Hmm.
But I go to my bank account and it shows the $50. Tried to pull out, but I'm
Well,
just glad I didn't transfer like 800 or something. It's like shoot.
right. Gotta get this audio fixed over on TikTok. They can't hear you. I sound like I'm talking to myself.
That's okay. People could think I'm crazy too.
So when did you do the deposit?
Earlier this morning, I
Yeah,
think 3-4 hours
right.
ago.
Friday at the earliest,
Okay.
and then probably Monday, Tuesday at the latest.
Okay. But in the meantime, I need to get yeah, at least the lowest level of TradingView membership active.
To do all three, but if you're only going to use 2, then no. So if you don't use the volume indicator, like we've got it up here, then you can run the EWO and just the main chart.
Oh. Oh, okay. So 4.0 isn't one order, it's 3 orders per se, right? Or it's
4.0 is the main chart. You still have the EWO. You get 3 indicators total. Right? So you get the
Oh.
EWO, you get the main chart, and you get the volume splits.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So with each one of those, you are they're individuals. So you don't have to run all 3 of them if you don't want to.
Mm-hmm.
I have all 3 on my chart though.
Right.
And we were talking about what do I do with higher time frame levels? I just turn them on and it charts them for me. So So I don't have to worry about what's my 4-hour high. My 4-hour high is up here. Here's my week high, my month high, my daily high. Here's my pre-market high. Here's my previous day high, pre-market low. Here's my 4-hour high here. Here's my previous day low here, 4-hour low, daily low. I already know that these are going to be major key levels so that when price action comes down there, I don't have to have a line snap there.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So all of the charting that I do is right now. Like
Okay,
off
so
of,
on TradingView, how do I make at least my chart look kind of like yours before I try and open a ticket? Where do you go to turn them on and off?
oh, so up here, if you already have one loaded, so this little drill down will be sitting up here.
Right.
If you want to turn it off, you just remove it. Click remove.
Okay. But there, you keep clicking the eyeball to turn stuff on and off. I was just wondering if
Oh, I
maybe
just hide it. That just hides it.
Aha. Okay, let me. Yeah, nothing changed. See, I can't get the screen to freaking get small enough or big enough though, so that you can actually read the whole error code. That's the problem that I'm running into. It only gives me like a partial.
Okay. Well, that error code is what we're going to want to review. Now, I know that silver and gold have been going up in margin requirements. There's someone just told me that micro silver is now $1,000 and micro gold is $200.
Yeah, this is the most I can get on this error. Doesn't matter how wide or how narrow I freaking shrink this screen.
What time frame is that on?
15-minute up at the top.
Yeah, we're definitely going to want to create a ticket with that error and what time frame you're in.
Oh yeah, it won't let me view the 2-minute or the 1-minute. I've got to have at least that $14 level.
Maybe you might to run it because it's looking for history and you might not have access to the history it needs.
Okay. The hang.
Hey Doug, did you build those 4-hour high and low yourself?
I did not. I just went into a little trade on micro gold just to see what the margin used is, and it's telling me that the margin is still $50. So I'm not sure where those are coming from. I'm going to get out of that because that's $8. I'll take that. Yeah, I don't know where those margins are coming from. The Trade-Evate site's often incorrect. That's why I do a practice trade to see what the actual margin is. Okay. Well, anyone actually trading live in their cash account a micro gold or anything like that?
I'm over on NQ still, scalping.
Attaboy. That one doing?
And it's actually following structure. If you can watch structure, you can catch the tops and scalp them. I mean, it's been pretty good today.
It's pretty nice when it does that, isn't it?
Oh, it is super nice.
Yeah. Absolutely. Thanks, Jerry. Appreciate that.
Hey, Doug,
Yes, sir.
that overview panel that you have that shows the ATR, how do you get
Yes.
it to show up in TradingView?
This one?
Yes, sir.
that's part of the volume indicator.
Gotcha.
So if you click on your volume indicator, you can show the overview table. So make sure that that's clicked. Okay, don't change the numbers, please. You can rank the volumes in the table, which is how I have them. So when you rank them, whoever's in control, the color will switch. So red and green will flop back and forth. Horizontal view is how I have mine. I like the horizontal view better. And then show the overview label. I just think it kind of caps it all off.
Thank you.
Purdy. It's purdy. So yeah, that's part of your volume indicator with Coach's 4.0 group of indicators. Free with your futures membership.
Oh yeah. Thank you.
Bet. All right, in TV, there is an indicator that will plot out your labeling lows and yesterday's high lows. Yep. Yes, there is. There's a lot of different free indicators out there on the on TradingView. Coach's indicators just incorporate. I mean, this main lot of indicator, the main chart indicator is like a dozen or so indicators worth of coding all wrapped into one. You know, if I wanted to, I could turn on my session times too. That was the whole point of the 4.0 indicators, was to add the session times for us futures nerds. So we click those babies on. I can customize my colors. I've got all my times loaded. Pop that on, and now I've got, all right, here's London session low right here. Okay, I've got New York session low right here, which is also my daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, and yearly low. And up here, I've got my highs. So my London session high was right close to my daily high. London session open. So London open, peaked, and then pulled, because London session low way down here. So I can tell the story just by the indicators without even looking at the chart.
I clicked on the coach's indicators and I don't see a volume chart.
Well, it is its own indicator, right? So it's not part of the main chart. You've got three. So you've got the main, which is the one that's on the actual chart itself. And then the volume indicator will be your volume splits. I'm sorry, it'll be the American Dream Trading volume indicator, EWO scanner, and coach's indicator. You should have three.
Boom.
Should I have three too?
Everyone should have three.
Okay, I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah, check your invite section. That's where they're going to be.
Where's the invite section?
In your indicator button right here at the top. Click on
On
that.
Trading View.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let me get my Trading View back. Oh,
Yep.
there it is. Okay. Where do I go?
Go up to your indicators right here.
Right.
Click on that. Go down to invite only. And you should see three indicators.
They're there. Coach's
Sorry?
indicator, EWO scanner, and volume indicator.
So you do have them?
Yes.
There you go. You're good.
Thank you.
You bet. If you haven't claimed them, then create a ticket. We've got videos on how to claim them once your membership goes through. But you do need the basic plan or the essential plan for TradingView. So I think it's $14.99 a month or something like that.
I'm on the free one,
Mm-hmm.
and it gave me mine.
Yeah, you
I
can
just
you
put 'em-
can
I just put them in there.
yep, you can use them on there, but you may have some data restrictions that may not have them function properly.
Well, normally it says you don't have enough for this level,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, it didn't say nothing. It gave it to me.
Okay, good.
Awesome sauce.
You're very welcome. Let's see. Should we buy Ethereum right now? I can't tell you when to buy, sell any kind of ticker or commodity or crypto. I'm not a licensed tax investment or financial advisor. So earlier today, we went through Ethereum as far as the levels were concerned. And what I had charted out for this particularly was our range, okay, which we are squarely in. So this is our double bottom range that I was looking at. So as long as we're maintaining above 21.48 to the upside, then we're still in an upward momentum. So what you're going to be looking for is this constant move to the upside, right? So at the bottom of our trend, we pick up the bodies, not the wicks. Always the bodies, not the wicks. The reason being is you want where price is settling, okay? So now that we've got that, this is on the 1 minute, by the way. Now that we've got our trend line, what we're looking for here is as long as we're staying above our trend, right? So we tapped in here, got our next push. We're still above the mean of the overall move to the downside, and I am finding good support here at support levels where I need it. So if we break this trend line to the downside and we find support, well, now we have to fight this back through in order to get back up to the upside, which we would then be breaking this double top and holding this double top, which is also an area of support and resistance right here. Okay. The other thing you could look at is we have this massive seller's wick right here. This entire area is going to act like support and resistance. So if we can maintain price action up into this range, even if it sits here and mills around for a bit, as long as we're climbing up through it, we can get a pop out of the range once we break it for this double top. However, if we fail to stay within the range, right, we're seeing more weakness. Say we don't break above this trend line here, right, and we fail down further, well, we already had our double bottom bounce. So if this comes back down, the more times we revisit this area, the more likely it's going to look for support elsewhere, which means we could be coming down and looking at this double bottom and or the mean of the overall move. Now, what do I mean by the mean of the overall move? I'm sure you weren't here for that portion of it, so I'll back out and show you that our last high and our last low created our trading range. Okay, so the notion is that as long as we're staying above the mean of the overall trading range, our momentum is going to be to the upside. Okay, and we could see a recovery back up to the top of the range at about 22.20. Okay, and you can do this with any chart, stock, doesn't matter, crypto, futures. Okay, so what market do I choose right now? No, this is, I'm just looking at Ethereum because somebody wanted to take a look at it. So let's go back to, yeah, see, and there's your decline.
Hey, Doug, quick question.
Yes,
To
sir.
find that range, how far back do you go? For this one, it looked like you went back to 930.
Just the last high and the last low.
Okay, thanks, man.
Yeah. So if you're looking at a particular move, say this was earlier on in the process, right? Let's break it. Let's go. What ticker do you like to watch? Let's do one that you actually trade.
I like the NASDAQ.
Okay. Let's take a peek at the NASDAQ because this is a good one too. All right. So if we were in our earlier bounce stage, right? So we took this, say we took this low here, that high, okay? So in order for us, when we started bouncing, okay, and coming back up through price action, our first attempt at the mean was rejected. Second attempt, third and fourth attempt, fifth attempt, and then finally we got our push, right? Well, that got us up to breaking this double top, creating a new high, right? And rejecting off of this one. Now you could drop all of this off, right? So that was our first move up. Then you take a look at your next move up. What's our next move up look like? Where's my next mean? As long as I'm staying above that, and you just keep trailing it up, right? And how much of this recovery pattern are you looking at now? So your target changes as price moves up, and as long as it's maintaining above its mean from the overall drop from high to low, then you know that the price action is going to continue. And you can use this as a bellwether as to whether or not the strength to the upside is still there to continue higher. That makes sense?
Yeah, I think so. It's interesting how you started at, let's see, what is it, 25.65. You started there
Mm-hmm.
instead of farther back around, let's say around 10 o'clock, right?
Well, it's
Or
based,
even sooner.
yeah. What I'm doing is I'm stepstoning my way through each of the levels, right? So if I'm in a really strong, if I'm in a really strong position down here on this bounce, like I saw the low, it took out the last low, we finally got our recovery, and here I am, I'm protected, right? I'm down below all of these levels. Well, I know that in this move, I need to maintain height above this mean. So as soon as I get that and I break this high, well, now my next port of call is going to be the next high. So then I start watching price action through there. Am I staying above the mean? I am. Here, right? Because each of these, if you're going to be looking at them for their double tops, you'd be doing the same thing with a line there.
I would. You're right.
Right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So you'd
The only
have
thing I'm not seeing is whenever when I do it, I'm not looking at the mean, which I think is really important.
I agree.
That's what I'm learning from you today. Okay, great. Now, can I can do this in Webull as well, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That same,
100%. Yep. So over here in the Webull,
yeah.
and get to our MNQ chart here,
Yeah.
right? So
Yep.
up here, you've got these activated, right? So go to your drawing tools.
Right.
Second tab over, that's where you're going to find your rectangle tool.
Rectangle. Okay.
Okay. Here's your low.
Yep.
Here's my next high.
Beauty. That's awesome. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
You bet. Now you can play with the opacity on this stuff. I think the fill, I think that is the, I think that is. Yeah, it is the. Yeah, you can't get rid of the fill, apparently.
Right, but it looks like you can make the upper and lower more bold as well as the median.
Yeah, you can certainly do that.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Actually, if you click on the gear, I guess, third from the right. Yeah.
Yep.
See that middle line? You could
So this is
probably-
where you, yeah, this is where you add it, but you don't have any customization here.
Oh, you don't? Oh, it looked like you did. Okay. All right, man. That's great. Thank you.
So
I like that a lot.
It
Does it-
works. You just got to release your mouse.
does it get rid of the shading though?
I don't know if it goes all the way to 0, but it lightens it up quite a bit.
Can you put the color to black? Like, does that get rid of it?
Well, then that's what the color of the lines will be.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, so all that does is mute the lines. But that's why I like TradingView. The tools are better. But yes, you can use those for the same purpose. And again, you know, you'd be doing the same thing with a line. It's just that I prefer to know where my midpoints are, you know, when I'm on the move. So as I break my new high, right, and I'm on the move up, now my next high, I want to know, you know, what level do I need to maintain to stay above that to continue my momentum to the upside. You can also do the same thing with trend lines. Snap a trend line at your low. There's your trend. Okay. So as long as I stay above that, my momentum, my price action will continue to go in the upside direction. Now, there's 1,000 ways that you can track this stuff. You know, if you're looking at the steeper trend, as long as it maintains that steeper trend, I'm good to go. As soon as it breaks it, then maybe that's a shed point. You know, it all depends on how your brain uses the information that you can put on the chart. Now, looking at Coach's indicators tells you pretty much everything you need to know all in one fell swoop, aside from any horizontal support and resistance lines that you would chart out, or, you know, rectangles, or however you choose to see it, right? Gold, I can certainly do gold, you bet. You know, when you get to the top of the trend line, what typically happens? Pull back. You get to the bottom of the trend line, what typically happens? Push up. This is the reason why this works, is because these trend lines are built off of 100 candles worth of data, right? So as this goes along, it's going to continue to shift. And that's the beauty of the entire thing, because each of these lines, green, gray, and red, act like support and resistance during the shift as well. So even if the trend were flat, it would come up to the top of the trend line and likely reject unless there is a strong movement or momentum shift in that direction. So, yeah, Coach's indicators. I mean, if you can manage to learn to use them, they are hugely beneficial to your trading plans. Help you manage the trade. You know, when you've got a clear sign of a downtrend, when you've got the 921 cross right here, right? Well, we know that that momentum to the upside is totally squashed now. So there's our pull. We find support off of key levels, right? We mill around. As soon as you get a break and hold above the 9, we get a little bit of a move up, but we've got all of these double tops to work through. So if you're not paying attention to the structure while using the Coach's indicators at the same time, you can be getting yourself into trouble, right? Because if you're in this break and hold of the 9 and you get in on a third candle, but you're not looking to the left and you see this push up initially, then pull back, well, you're going to be thinking to yourself, why did it do that? Well, first and foremost, I'm in the middle of the trend channel. That line in and of itself acts like resistance. Price is coming up to it. So that would not be a long entry for me. I would wait for price action to come back down to the bottom of the trend channel and find support off the indicators, the 55, which is typically hanging around some of your lower support levels, right? And then take the bounce off of that, because now I've got room to get up to the middle of the trend And if I see any resistance off of these minor double tops that we've got over here, right? That's my key level to break and hold. But I've got more room now rather than being right up against it. I'm down here at a stronger level of entry. So that allows me to be able to stomach some of this resistive nature while it figures itself out and finally breaks through and comes up to VWAP like it wants to. Nudge. Any questions about that? Good. All right, gold. Let's go take a look at gold. What a beautiful recovery bounce on gold. Sure. So here you go. We came down, checked in on the bottom of the trend channel here, found some slowing. We broke the 200, but could not hold below the 200 for very long. Got our nice recovery bounce right off of that. So if you are a break and hold to the 9, this is your break of the 9 here. This is your hold candle on the 9, but the real entry is on this candle here. Let it get past the middle of the trend channel and then enter in on the stronger candle so that you've got the more momentum shift to the upside, so that if you are a enter and protect right away kind of person, you can do so. Or if you're just a one candle scalper, there's your entry. So a much cleaner entry on the break and hold of the 9 here than it was prior at resistance that we were seeing on Q.
Hey Doug, when you enter
Yes,
a
sir.
trade, do you ever look at like 2 time frames to see if there's, because the 200 on the 2-minute is in a completely different spot than it is on the 1 minute, right? So on the
It
1
is,
minute
yeah.
it might look like so you do look at both of them?
No, not for entry. If I'm looking
Okay.
for an entry, I'm going to be sticking to the time frame that I'm on. But I've also already done my 1 hour review, you know, of where everything's at. You calm down the visual here. So I'm already doing my 1 hour review, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you can do this on a 4 hour too, but I like the granularity of the 1 hour when I'm just doing a quick evaluation. So I know that my major level of support is going to be here, 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 and this entire wick, right? So if this were to continue to break down, is it breaking structure? Did it break a new low? Yes, it did. Did it find support? It did. However, it can't maintain that 50% rule that we keep bringing up. If it can't come up and break and hold above that, okay, now this is on the higher time frame, so this is more powerful when it makes moves like these, right? Because on the lower time frame, it could sit here and do this all day long.
Mm-hmm.
So on the higher time frame, noticing that we've got a low here that we found support, now we're making our way back up. My first major area of resistance is going to be the mean of that move.
Okay.
Right? That's the key there. And when you break it down, look at where that's coming from. And that's this wick high right here. So let me zoom in on that so you can actually see it. See it now?
Yeah. So you're saying if you, for example, if you look for an entry on the 1 minute and everything looks good to go, and you get in, and for some reason it turns around, then you switch to the 2 minute, and you saw, oh, the 200 was right there. You should be able to see that by doing this before you
Yes.
even. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the reason being is that if you recognize these key levels, like I know for a fact that this is going to be hard for this thing to break through. Well, if you already know that and you're on the bottom side of this candle, right? So say this candle already printed and you're working on this candle and you're early in on this candle and this candle is down here. Okay. Well, I know that if this was a pullback off of this major key level, I'm going to find support likely right here at the base of this candle.
Okay.
Okay. Or somewhere in there. Right. So that tells me now when I go down to the lower time frame, I could look for a buy opportunity at that level or thereabout. So as I come down into the 2-minute, I can look for opportunities for buys along this level. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
you see where I got that from?
Yeah.
Because this is a key level of support right here.
Okay.
So if it's a key level of support and I'm patient enough to allow pricing to come down to my key level of support, as long as I get the right signals, I can start looking for buy opportunities.
Okay.
And those buy opportunities would be for me when it comes down and makes a low off of the bottom of the trend channel and off of a key level of previous day low. Just like in stocks, previous day low is a very powerful level. Okay.
Interesting. Okay.
Now you can see that my key level that I've snapped out here is very close to Tokyo session low. Okay. You're going to find that once you start understanding structure and playing around with where key level bounces are and you have the session times turned on, I would not be shocked if you came back to me in a week saying you wouldn't believe how many times a low was created near a key level of support and resistance.
Right. Yeah, I can see that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. But that's why you need those indicators, because if you're looking for entry opportunity at the blue line that you drew out, you're waiting for it to come down. If you don't have those indicators, you're like, hey, why the heck did that turn around before it got there?
You'd have to snap your own. You'd have to do your own research. What was my Tokyo session low?
Right.
So I go all the way back to last night, right? And what was my low? What was my high? You know, what's my previous day high, previous day low? You got to do all that stuff by hand. Well, with Coach's Indicators, you get it all for free, my man, with your membership. And how cool are these session times, right? I mean, you guys have only had this for less than a week now.
Right. But do you have to, I did the update, but they weren't on my trading view. Do you have to check the box in the settings to get these or to see these?
Yeah, you have to turn them on.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay, I got to do that.
Yeah, so down here, you just got to turn them on.
Okay.
And you can custom color them, make sure you got the right times for your time zone.
Okay. Oh,
perfect. All right.
I'll do that. Thank you.
We're rising into the last 10 minutes of power hour here, so we're going to be wrapping up here in a few minutes. Any last questions? Excuse me. Oh, very cool, Carol. Thank you for that. All right. Thanks very much, everyone over there on the TikTok for the support. 37,000 likes. Ooh, you guys are killing it. Love it. All right. Well, here we are, 10 minutes. Barely any movement. Usually we see a bit of a spike. Indices. Let's go take a look at the indices. Gold. All right, we got a little bit of movement. Not much. It's been a pretty slow afternoon for the most part. Any last questions on TikTok, YouTube, or any other socials? Type them into your chat box. Take a peek at them right now. We've got a pull on NQ. I'm sure all of the other indices are acting much the same. Yep. ES, RTY not so hard. YM is pulling quite nicely. Silver is getting a bit of a pump to the upside in the last 10 minutes of power hour. Oil is pretty much flatlined. Euro is not doing much of anything, and natural gas consolidating. All right. Well, as always, thank you for joining me. I appreciate all your time and your effort and your support. If you do have any questions, just please join our free Discord at americandreamtrading.com. Come on into the Traders Lounge and ask for anybody to give you some assistance. We've got over 20 moderators in our crew that are just waiting to help you out. So if you do have questions about your roadmap or your journey with us at ADT, even as a free member, you get priority help service along with everybody else. So with that, I'm going to wrap up today. Again, if you are interested in our memberships, we do have still the Diamond membership out there for $5,000. If you use my name, DOUG, as the discount code, you'll get $500 off and no recurring payments and access to not only futures, but crypto, stocks, options, mentorship, gold training twice a week during the week and once on Saturday, and then futures training with me on Sunday. So 7 days of training with a Diamond membership. Thank you again for joining me, and we will check you later.
Hey, Doug.